me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Okay, we should be back.
Yes. Welcome to Open Mic America, everyone. I'm Daphne Ramil, your MC, and Robert Edgar is our interviewer, and Ron Smith is our engineer, and Capo Dave Williams is the founder of this wonderful show and the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, which you'll hear about later. Our mission is to support your local open mics and all those venues where you can go in person and you can see songwriters performing their original music. But tonight, thanks to technology, we get to travel all around the country and see those same performers in their own living rooms from our own houses. So without gimmicks and frills, this is the beating heart of American music, the tapestry of story and song that's been weaving us together for generations. And now let's introduce all of our performers. Here we go. Devin Love from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's right. Shuba Gunapu from Santa Clara, California. Steve Azaro, or Anything Goes, from Killingworth, Connecticut. Bill Palmer from Jekyll Island, Georgia. Tim and Susan, otherwise known as Waddle and Daub, from Grayslake, Illinois. Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. Ric Page from Haverhill, Massachusetts. And Mark Bishop Evans from Phoenix, Arizona. We have everybody here, many different states. I didn't get a chance to count them, but maybe I will later in the show. And now, without further ado, let's introduce Devin Love from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And she likes to play at the Royal in Glenside, Pennsylvania for an open mic. But she also has a gig in Brooklyn at a cute place called the Pink Frog Cafe. And you can find information on her and on all our other performers on our website. So take it away, Devin.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for getting those venues out there, because it's really important that we support all of our local scenes. So Glenside is back towards the Philadelphia area. That's in kind of towards the suburbs. If you are in Brooklyn, Williamsburg, highly recommend the Pink Frog Cafe. They are really working on supporting and breaking brand new artists of all ages. So yeah, both excellent choices. But let's get down to it. Let's turn my mic on. So this is a song that I wrote. It's called Trying to Keep My Head Up. I think it's just relatable to what a lot of people have going on right now, and take it away. Cause I'm home. Wrong button. Cause I'm hoping with a knowing that it wasn't all for nothing. A heartache, yeah, carry myself to the finish line. Drowning is not an option. Free me before destruction. Standing on your promises. Too late tonight, jump now. I'm trying to keep my head up. Trying to keep my head up. Trying to keep my head up. I arrive alone, where all the broken dreams have washed up on the shore. Take me away. Soul's thrown against the can't bring me down. I'm trying to keep my head up. I'm trying to keep my head up now. And I hope that you can see me. Okay, and that's the end of my first song. And this,
Yay! Thank you, Devin. Bravo.
and this is being optioned for my potential EP release that I'm working on over the summer. So let's go to the next song. So yeah, you're getting to hear unreleased stuff from me that is not even available yet. So you guys are getting kind of that first sneak peek. So let's go to. The perfect world. We still be together. I hope it's okay for you. Ending up alone. Are you gonna wake up without me? Wake up without me. You never got the rest of me. Never in the atmosphere. Wake up one of these days. You never got the rest of me. And how does it feel to live with your mistakes? Hoping you smile on the outside, but you are dying on the inside. Living your life, nowhere in the atmosphere. Wake up one of these days. You never got the rest of me. In the eye of deepest regrets was the fear of being seen. And there's no saving you. You're howling in your lies. I see the truth was never you. And when you think about me, is it easy to breathe for you? Nowhere in the atmosphere. Wake up one of these days. You never get the rest of me. And that's the end. And that song is called Composition F. Wake up with
Yay for composition F. First of all, I want to clap. Composition F. That's cool. And I think we're going to have Robert talk to you about it.
Sure. How are you, Robert?
Hi, I'm fine, Devin. I
Excellent.
used to live in Malvern, a bit south of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a nice place. I enjoyed it while I lived there, um, and found other musicians. Um, so the place where you go to play is is in Philly. It's off the open mic you mentioned.
Yeah, so the place, so if you are from the Malvern area, you might not have heard of the venue, which is why I'm mentioning it. So the
Uh-huh.
Royal became a 501c, meaning that they can fully support the artists and they don't have to worry about the ticket sales and the numbers, and they can pay the artists to have a gig. So I just think it's so important to nurture places like that in the work they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. That's great. Do you have it? Do you play with other musicians there at that place?
I do a couple things there. So it started out with just an open jam. So it would be every, weekday night they would have some sort of weekly jam. So everybody just kind of came in. In the winter it was a little bit slow, but once summer hit it was like there was all these just a lot of people coming in, and that was how I met a lot of other people that are local to me.
Uh-huh.
So there's that. They also offer an actual open mic, which is different than a jam, because as you know, a jam just means you could do whatever you want, really,
Mm-hmm.
and that's up to disposal. You could ask the backup band to do whatever you want. So that's always interesting, kind of seeing what people do and sort of who's collaborating.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of music usually comes out of there? Is there a good range?
I would say it's definitely a range. I've seen them put together hip hop shows. I've seen them put together comedy shows of local comedians, which I do. Like as a performer, I actually do like going to the comedy shows because I like seeing people's stage presence and different things they're doing with their acting. But they
Mhm.
also do folk music as well. Um, so quite a number of genres, I would say.
Uh-huh. That's actually the you said that the songs you played tonight were not available. Are your other songs somewhere where people can get to them?
Yes, all my stuff is on Spotify if you care to look me up. These are songs that were being optioned for my EP, so I'm thinking pretty soon I'm just going to go ahead and record these.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So you're writing them and putting them up in Spotify as sample as demos, and then having oh,
I'll go to the studio with the engineer and we'll probably get a nice professional cut on these.
yeah, uh-huh. Oh, that's great.
So you guys
Um,
are early, which is nice.
um, absolutely. What are your what subjects when you write songs? What are you most interested in, or uh, when you write?
um, I would say there's a couple of different subjects. Um,
Hmm.
I think everybody at some point in their life has had some sort of heartbreak, or somebody that's disappointed them in some way, whether it's a big, thing or a small thing. Looking at relationships has always been interesting to me, and this is like a side I note, but ever since I was little, I liked watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and just seeing how different relationships play out for people.
Uh-huh. So you explore those in your songs also,
Yeah, I would
those
say
relationships.
so. Yeah, my earlier stuff that was with the songwriting, the publishing company, some more of that was about just like overcoming um, your circumstances and sort of deciding to move forward.
Yeah. Well, this is great. Very nice hearing you. I
Thank
hope to hear you again, and I'll keep an eye out to see if you pop up where I can hear you online there. Thank,
Absolutely, and don't be a stranger if you're in Malvern again or around.
thank you. I'll take you up on that next time I'm in the area.
Excellent.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care as well.
Bye now.
Bye.
Devin, thank you so much again, and welcome. It's your first time here at Open Mic America. So thank you so much, and I hope that your gig at the Pink Frog Cafe is a smash hit. That'd be great. And next we have someone else who has never been on Open Mic America before. We have a special treat with a special instrument that has never been played on Open Mic America before, and that would be Shuba Gunapu from Santa Clara, California. And she plays not at open mics or, she plays at private events. She teaches. And you could follow her on YouTube or Instagram. And here she is, Shuba Gunapu. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Namaste. Thank you so much for inviting me. So I'm an Indian classical musician, as you can see. So this is an instrument called veena, very similar to the sitar you must have all heard from the legend Pandit Ravi Shankarji. So that's a northern part of the Indian instrument, a little different music. And this is the southern part of the Indian instrument. So the one I have is called Saraswati Veena, named after the goddess Saraswati, who's popular, who plays Veena, and that is the belief that she is the transfer of knowledge. So all the people who learn this is like more like a tribute to her all the time. And today I will be playing first, starting with a small prayer on Lord Ganesha, who is actually believed to remove all the obstacles. So before we do anything, we always play a song or sing a song on Lord Ganesh. And this is a classical piece, and it is set to I don't know whether to call it a tune, but in our Indian music we call it raga, based off of some pitches scales, nata. And it's set to 4 and 4/8 rhythm cycle. So I will be playing a small snippet of this song as a prayer to start with. And thank you again, and very happy and lovely to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. So that was one of the very common song on Ganesha, and it's set to in Raga Nata. And of course, Robert and I will talk a little bit more about it later to explain. So, and this raga is also very close to a little bit of jazz blues. I don't know if any of you were able to relate to it because of the bend notes. So that is why I picked this, so that it'll be a little bit common for everybody to understand and relate to it. So the next, I'll be singing a small song on Krishna in Rag Yaman. It's a very beautiful, like a late evening rag, which sets the mood in Indian classical music. And it's also used for festivities or for a lullaby, or it could be for any kind of a very happy event. So I'll just sing a small song. It's actually written by a very famous poet back in India, Sri Vyasaraja, and back in probably 13th or 14th century, and a very, very beautiful song. Krishna ni begane baro, Krishna ni begane baro, begane baro, mukhavanne toro, begane mukhavanne toro, Krishna ni begane baro, Kashi pitambara kaiyalli kodalu, usida ಶ್ರೀಗಂಧ ಮೈಯೋಳ ಘಮ ಘಮ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ, ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗವನ್ನ ತೋರಿದ, ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗವನ್ನು ತೋರಿದ, ಜಗದೋದ್ಧಾರಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಜಗದೋದ್ಧಾರಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಡುಪಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀ ಬೇಗನೆ ಬಾರೋ ಬಾರೋ ಬಾರೋ. Thank you. So just to give you a small meaning.
Oh, beautiful.
Sweet, sweet.
So the meaning of this song, most of is Krishna's mother is describing what he's all wearing, adorned with jewelry. He's a lord, so he's been decorated with a crown, beautiful ornamentation, a lovely silk robe on him, and also, you know, he's a very mischievous kid, believed to be when we read his stories. So his mom is like trying to get him to come eat some food. So it's a very common thing that anybody would see in everybody's life, like a mother to a child. But the song describes all of this in each different paragraphs. And at the end, she will be trying to punish him, saying that, hey, you're not eating, I have to do something for you, please open your mouth, why don't you open your mouth, I want to feed you. And when he opens the mouth, she's very stunned to see that she can see the whole world in his mouth. That is when she really realizes that the kid who is born to her is really not a normal human being. He's one of the Lord of the universe. So that is what the meaning of the song is. I just thought I'll explain so it will make a little bit more sense.
Well, that helps. That's beautiful. Thank you. And maybe you could continue by talking to Robert. Robert, I'm passing it on to you.
Hey, Robert. Lovely
Hey,
to
Shuba. It's, we should say that you and I've known each other and played music together for many years. So that's and a pleasure, and I've learned so much from you. I've always appreciated the time we had together.
Same thing, likewise, a lot of Western part of the fusion, a nice bridge came because of your knowledge to me. So it's likewise. Thank you so
It was
much.
fun. Yeah. Let me quickly go through a couple things that might be of interest to folks. One is that the Carnatic music that you have is all melodic, but there is no harmonic structure like we have in the West. You don't have chords in that. You
That's
have
right.
single melodies, and you can play off each other. You can give and take, and you can play in parallel. But when you put on, say, the mridangam, the percussion sound, or the sound of the electronic tambura, which is a drone sound, that in some ways provides a base that in the West we often get from multiple instruments or multiple sounds in parallel.
Absolutely. So that's what in the earlier I was trying to say that, how do I describe a raga specifically? Like, it's a melodic structure. So we basically have a set of rule for every raga, which is like ascending, descending set of pitches. Of course, there's a lot of character, the mood of the raga, and so we pick the specific, every raga is given a name. Like, for example, the one I sang right now is Yaman Kalyani. So this compromises of a certain pitches like Sari ga ma pa da ni sa da pa ma ga na na. That's the structure we have to follow. So we usually don't go out of it. But the good thing is we have a lot of opportunity to improvise. So there is not a strict rule that, oh, you have to just stick to this note right here. So the structure is what is really important. Like you said, the ascending and descending. So the structure is defined. Whoever has come up with the raga or put up the raga in that way. But there's a lot of room for improvisation, character, mood. So we pick the raga based on the meaning of the song and what we are trying to pretty much render. Is it like a romantic raga versus a sad raga? Is it in the morning time? Is it in the afternoon time? Is it in the evening time? So there is a mood of the raga, and the day time of the raga is also defined. So I think these are some of the extra things that adds to the meaning of the raga and the melodic structure that is different from the Western world.
And briefly on the Veena that you have in front of you, we can see it here in the picture. People can see that the what we would have as a fretboard is actually scalloped. And that scalloping is actually wax that has been melted into place very exactly to get the pitch right.
This is like a bee wax where they actually melt it and then harden it, and they lay it out as a fretboard, and it's definitely a part of the same physics what they use in guitar or anything to measure each of the pitches, same in the 12 parts plus the extra 16 and the whole thing and the different octaves. So, but we play up and down. In the guitar we play across. So
Yes.
octave is like down, and then it continues. If you want the lower octave, we go to the previous note and go all the way backwards. like a
Mhm.
S zigzag. Yeah, from the fourth is the lowest, and then after that is the third, then second is the first.
Mhm.
The first two are steel strings mostly, and the last two are could be copper or brass strings.
Thank you so much. There's so much to talk about and so much about you and your musical family. But I know we have to keep moving here on to other folks. Um, absolutely wonderful. And thank you. One thing I'll point out is that as you sing, you go back and forth between singing words and singing the notes of the raga, which is kind of like our do re mi type of
That's right.
song. But of course, if we don't know the the language for the notes, we don't recognize it. But that's how you go through singing the song and blend into an improvisation, and then blend back into the song back and forth, almost like scatting also.
Actually, we have a name for exactly the Western major scale that you have: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, ni, dha, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. And that particular scale also has a name. It's a long name called Shankarabharanam. It's one of the very popular pieces that we usually play when we do fusions and stuff. So I'm sure both worlds of music had some kind of commonality or knowledge sharing between the people back then, so it came out to be right now what we have today.
Shuba, take care. I hope to see you around, and it's always a pleasure. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Shuba, that was just beautiful. And thank you for teaching us a little bit about it afterwards. And now we're going to go to Killingworth, Connecticut to hear Steve Azzaro or Anything Goes. Steve, take it away.
Hello, Daphne. It's good to be here. As usual, I learned so much from my fellow musicians and singer-songwriters, so it's a great joy to be part of your festivities. I'm going to do two songs for you today that I've written. And the first one is called Ronnie's Blues. And Ronnie can be a guy or a gal. And I don't know whether any of you have ever had a spat with your significant other, and usually winds up with some pointing fingers and maybe some nasty words, and then it gets louder and nastier, and then it reaches the real ultimate in the argumentative stage, which is total and absolute silence and not looking at one another. And in that silence, whether you're a guy or gal, we go back and we try to figure out how can we get back to where we were before, because we don't truly like to argue and it gets out of control. So this is called Ronnie's Blues. Laying in my lonely bed, thinking about the old days. See a soft sunrise through the morning haze. It's my quiet time for brooding over memories of our feuding. Seems like I've lost my way. Blue is the color of my heart today. You know, I'm stuck thinking about yesterday, and I don't care about next week. Pondering what the Lord said, He said, turn the other cheek. Well, I wonder about those words stuck deep down in my mind. Feel like a fool trying to be so kind. Blue is the color of my soul all the time. Not going through my workday. I gotta do what's right. Thinking and wondering, gotta give up on this fight. When I close my eyes at night, oh, I'm still thinking of you. Till I drop down sleeping, still singing the blues. You know, without a clue, what's false, honey, what's true. Well, I'm streaming blue dreams, honey, thinking about you in the dawning, you in the morning, you in the evening too.
Hey.
Yeah. I got the blues, man.
Yeah, thank you. And, you know, as Devin said earlier on, so many songs are written about relationships, of course. And so this is one about, I don't know, maybe it describes some of you singer-songwriters, perhaps, what we may think about, and what we do, maybe why we do it. I call this song Runaway 71. Now I'm gonna run away, you know I'm gonna go, gonna run far away, 'cause I gotta know, I'm gonna fill my life with music and song, gonna dance my dreams, do you wanna come along? Oh, let's run away with me. Down to the harbor and then to the sea. Oh, we'll travel together, just you and me. Gonna travel the land, I'm gonna make my own way. Gonna take a stand, I'm gonna have my say. No anchor drags me down, I'll be a gypsy and free. I'll get around with my will of sovereignty. Will you run away with me? Down to the harbor and then to the sea. We'll travel together, just you and me. You know, thoughts fill my mind, time is slipping away. Got new ideas to find, yeah, I'm gonna have my say. Not believe in dreams and possibilities. I believe in you, you believe in me. I'll live a free life, I'm gonna live anywhere. Gonna have troubles and strife, it's because I care. Just singing my song, it's a lifetime odyssey. I'll keep moving along, it's my destiny, my destiny. Come on, run away with me. down to the harbor, then to the sea. Oh, we'll travel together, just you and me, just you and me. Me loving you, you loving me, down to the harbor, and then to the sea. Nice chorus.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Steve, for two great songs. And I'm going to pass you along to Robert.
Great. Thank you. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Steve. Steve, where are you located?
Killingworth, Connecticut. It's about 20 miles south of Hartford, Connecticut, about 7 miles north of the Long Island Sound.
Uh-huh. That's great. When you go out to play with others, where do you play around there?
Well, we've got local places. We play in, there's a town called Chester, Connecticut that has a sort of an artsy, crafty reputation, and we play First Fridays there, a couple of hours out on the porch and to the people or in the stores. And we play at the Chester Village, which is a organization that takes care of folks. And then at some open mics up in Middletown, Connecticut, the Buttonwood Tree, and other open mics that are on Zoom, some in England and Boston and all over. It's great fun to do that. I'd like to mention to you, Bob, that we're going to have in this little town of Killingworth, Connecticut, at the Deer Lake Outdoor Center, which there's a whole big story behind that I won't go into, but it's gone from private hands to public hands. And last year I organized a music festival that featured original singer-songwriters. And it went pretty well in spite of the monsoon that we had. We're going to have one again September 14th, and we've got 20 original singer-songwriters that are going to perform. In fact, one fabulously talented one you've got on the show today, Ric, is going to be on the bill. He's so happy that he's going to be with us. And so I wanted to mention that. It's a lot of effort, but I do agree with Devin and all of you and the wonderful work that is done here that Dave does, featuring and promoting original singer-songwriters. It's to me, it's extremely important because, as I tell the people that come to the festival, you're not going to hear these sentiments on the radio unless you go to a special station. Generally, you've got to come to something like this where you're going to hear 20 distinctive voices over 3 songs each, maybe 60 or 70 wonderful voices. So that's my big project. We're getting into the final stages of planning. Any of you come on down to Killingworth September 14th. You can camp there at the camp and come see the concert.
Oh, that sounds great. Yes, there is something about singer-songwriters when we play our own songs. There is the entire universe of songs to choose from if one simply goes in front of an audience, and you can pick any of the songs from around the world and pick the best. But when you're continually coming up with your own, it's a different game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And there's all different levels. And I know you may ask, where do I have my songs? And I've got about 50 of them on my YouTube channel called The Stefano J, all one word, TheStefanoJay. And what I do with my songs, Bob, is I go down to the local studio, the Community Access Studio, which is Valley Shore Community Television in Westbrook, Connecticut, and I make them into videos. So there's about 70 bits of work there that you can access by going to vsctv.com, video on demand, local shows. Tales and Tunes is where I record them all. And I made them into videos. So take a look.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Um, so you'll keep this up. Was the song you played about travel on there? Is that a recent song or
Oh
was that?
yeah, yeah. That one I wrote this year. I started really writing a lot of songs about 4 years ago. My first song, in fact, the last time I was on the show here, I did the first song I wrote, which was back in 1978. And then I had a 30-year hiatus. Well, I had to work and take care of the family and everything. But then I started writing again about 5 years ago. And Ronnie's Blues was written there in 2023. And Runaway was written in 2024. It's and I'm working on a whole bunch. You know what it is, and perhaps you other singer-songwriters know this too. I must have 15 or 16 piles of possible songs that I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
And sketch here, sketch there, and I have to get myself focused to finish one at a time. So I'm working on another one right now too.
Yeah, I have that too. I've definitely got some that I traveled with a little while and then left, and some of those are good memories, and some of them were probably best left.
When you revisit them, Bob, do you do them exactly the same, or do you change? Do they mature and develop as you go through?
Yeah, if I go back, sometimes they have to find me again, which means
Yeah.
I need to find them again.
That's right.
But early, it depends on what I leave, how I start them. Sometimes I'll start with a melody or a chord structure, and maybe I'll even record it, but not write it out. Sometimes I'll start with a verse of text and a lyric, or even just a subject to focus on that I'll come back
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I go back, I go, "What was that?" Maybe you've done that too.
I'm working on one now. The thought came to my mind, this little phrase, just what are you thinking about? And that's going to turn into a political song if it goes to the end, but
Yeah.
that's the start. And just like you said, that's the little germ that's starting this idea. Just those words. We'll see what happens.
Well, good luck on that, and come
Thank
back
you.
and play it for us so that we can hear where you've gone with it.
Love to. Now I've got pressure. I got to do it.
Oh, there you go.
Thank
Pressure's
you.
always good, I think. It's,
Thank you.
in the right doles.
Deadlines,
Take care.
milestones. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Steve. See you again.
Well, thank you, Steve. And I'm wondering what you're thinking about, really. And you have to come back and tell us.
I will. I'll put it together now, especially for you guys. I will do, and me,
Okay.
of course.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
great. That's great. Thank you so much. And anything goes. And now we are going to go to Jekyll Island, Georgia, to hear Bill Palmer. We've been in Pennsylvania, California, Connecticut, and now Georgia. Isn't that amazing? And anyway, Bill likes to play at the Palm Coast Cafe at St. Simon's Island, on St. Simon's Island, and he played recently away from Georgia in San Jose, California, at the Poorhouse Bistro. So he wanted us to give a shout out to that, right?
Yes, I caught up with a bunch of friends that I met online at the beginning of the pandemic, actually. My cousin is out there. He plays at the Poorhouse, and a bunch of other people that sometimes play here as well. I think some
They
of you
actually
guys know
picked
them.
up the Poorhouse and moved it somewhere new.
Yes, they actually moved the whole building.
They did.
Quite impressive.
It's a Google thing, I know. But
Yeah. Only Google can make that kind of thing happen.
Right, but now we're on Open Mic America, and here
Open
you
Mic
are, and
America,
we
yeah.
can't wait to hear you.
But I do have some breaking news. We are being sneaked up on by a hurricane here, and so if I leave a little early, I have a new generator I have to get put together. So,
Oh my gosh, yes, it's that hurricane that you are near. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it pretty much is gonna. It was supposed to hit us dead center, but it's gonna miss about 50 miles, which is actually bad. It's better if they hit you straight on. But anyway,
Oh,
we'll see how
well,
this goes. It's not gonna be.
We hope it
yeah.
goes really well and that no damage is done to your house
We'll see.
or you.
All right. Well, anyway, this is a song that it's called "Old Hobo's Refrain." It's from about 2018, and it was inspired by a real life 20-something self-avowed hobo in Eugene, Oregon. He was sitting outside of Voodoo Donuts. I'm sure Capo Dave knows all about Voodoo Donuts. And he made a good play to get one of my 3 cake donuts, which I did not give up, but I felt bad about that. So anyway, here's a song based on sort of an idea that came from that. As a boy, I passed a man with rough clothes in the street. I had a small sign asking for something to eat. I put a few bucks into his shaking hand, and he said, "Thank you, son. I know you'll be a good man." And he said, "Try to be happy, and please don't forget that regrets are worth less than the butts of old cigarettes. 'Cause even a thrown out old cigarette can be dessert for a hobo. But regrets slow poison to all those people you'll ever know." Well, gee, mister, thank you for that cheerful phrase. I was just trying to be helpful, but now my mind's in a daze. Well, I'm sure that you mean well, and I mean no disrespect, but I think I'm better off if I try to forget all those things hobos told us when we were just small, when we were playing with bikes and skipping school in the malls. But now I'm much older with kids of my own, and I've tried to be that good man. I think my knowledge has grown to know a few helpful words might keep others away from those deep angry sorrows at the ends of our days. And I can still hear the old hobo's refrain as I sit with my children on the porch in the rain. Oh, kids, try to be happy, and please don't forget that regrets are worth less than the buzz of old cigarettes. 'Cause even a thrown out old cigarette can be dessert for a hobo. But regrets are slow poison to all those people you'll ever know. So kids, try to be happy, and please don't forget that regrets are worth less than the butts of old cigarettes.
Ooh, thank you, Bill.
Sweet song.
Let that be a lesson to you. All right. And this other one, I don't usually play capoed up, but I was in my virtual green room here, and it wasn't terrible, so we'll try it without having to retune. So this is the newest song. That was a pretty old one and an older one. And this is fairly new. We have this bird feeder where we feed birds, and they consistently just knock the seeds off on the ground. And I figured it out. We were getting mad. Why are they doing that? I think they're more generous than people. I think they actually are feeding the squirrels. I think they really are. And then I'm driving around, and I know California's got more of this than we do, but there's a lot of people that don't have a place to live. And seems like we do a better job of trying to feed the birds than we do feeding some of the people, I guess. So this is kind of about that. A pretty bird sitting in a tree, singing all day just for free. A pretty bird out on a limb, a pretty bird in the park, way out of town. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when the sun goes down? Old man sitting in his car, hasn't got much, so he can't go too far. Old man living in his car in the park. Old man living with that hungry sound. Well, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when the sun goes down? Little crab sitting on a rock, what would it say if he could talk? A little crab sitting in the park on a rock, well, what would it say if he could talk? Well, I'd rather be a bird than a man. I'd rather be a bird than a man. I'd rather be a bird than a man, 'cause people feed the birdies when they can and keep one eye open in the dark, 'cause it gets super scary when you're living in the park. Pretty bird just eating at a feeder. Could his song, well, could it be any sweeter? Oh, pretty bird flying all around, knocking them seeds, oh, right on down. Well, feeding them squirrels on the ground, feeding them squirrels on the ground, and them raccoons, well then, well, they come around. Well, people feel the feeder every day just to watch those birdies play, just to watch the birdies play. Old man sitting in his car, hasn't got much, so he can't go too far. Old man living in his car in the park. Old man, he's living with that hungry sound. Oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Well, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when the sun goes down? Little crab sitting on a rock, what would it say if he could talk? Little crab sitting on the park in a rock, well, what would it say if he could talk? Well, I'd rather be a bird than a man. I'd rather be a bird than a man. Well, I'd rather be a bird than a man, 'cause people feed the birdies when they can and keep one eye open in the dark, 'cause it gets super scary in the dark. When you're living in the park, I'd rather be a bird than a man. I'd rather be a bird. I'd rather be a bird than a man. Well, I'd rather be a bird than a man. Oh yeah, I'd rather be a bird than a man. If I'm living in the park. I'd rather be a bird than a man. If I'm living in the park.
Oh my, certainly food for thought
Wonderful.
there.
Cool lyrics.
There are too many lyrics. I kind of like, oh.
Oh wow.
It's fairly new, so it's hard to get all that in there, but yeah.
Oh, you did. That was great. Robert, are you ready to talk to Bill? You are.
Hey, Robert.
Well, certainly. I guess I missed you 2 weeks ago at the bistro.
Oh yeah.
I usually go there, but
Oh,
2
do you
weeks ago
really?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
there
went
was
there
a-
this week. And,
I wasn't there.
No, you were there. Here, there. You know, we have.
Well, you're so lucky to have that place. I've never been there before, and it's just a lot of fun. Really.
It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy to describe it to some folks here. It's a small outside venue now. It has your stage is pretty much where you walk to it and stand. There's not a raised stage. It's right under the San Jose Airport.
That's almost the best part in a
The
way.
the jetway for landing.
Yeah, you're being in the middle of a song, and all of a sudden it's like you should be playing back in the USSR. You know.
That's right. I think it's kind of like a stamp of authority for the place. If you're playing there, you have that. And
That's right.
I've introed music to go along with the playing, and I've paused and
Yeah, I could see how you would do that. That would be fun.
yeah. Jekyll Island. I was again on the East Coast once,
Yeah.
and with my brother-in-law who had a large-ish boat, and we held up
This is a
on
place for
Jekyll
that,
Island,
yeah.
docked
Yeah.
there for the night. And I remember waking up with dew on the portals and everything. Just a
Exactly.
gorgeous place there.
It is a nice place. Yeah, it is. It's going to get a little windy here, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I understand that also. That with the hurricanes, when I was on the East Coast, I was usually more worried about water surges than winds.
Yeah,
Although
here,
I
yeah,
ain't
and
worried about
we're kind of in a spot where surges, unless they're just overwhelming, it would wipe out everybody. We're not going to be, but we're in the forest, so trees can come down. So that's the kind of the thing.
Oh yeah, right. So that's a different thing. One other topic. You had homeless and hobo song.
That was the
you
theme
should-
tonight. Yep.
Do you think there's a there's a tradition of hobo songs? Are there not? Is there not?
Oh yeah, I would think so. Well, certainly Woody Guthrie and all of that. I mean, the romantic hobo is probably not part of our culture anymore, other than a historic one, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Well, it
now
has,
it's,
the thing about hobos is kind of interesting that for most of the songs and such, it's tied to trains also.
Yeah.
So you get hobos and you get trains. You get places where hobos get off the train and start a fire. I have a band that sometimes plays at the bistro called 14 Bindlestick Frank. And,
Okay.
a Bindlestick is on it. But, we don't have anyone named Frank, and we don't have any Bindlesticks, but we do like the music.
Cool.
So are you coming out this way again, or are you?
Well, I don't know.
after
You
the storm?
probably, no, I think probably will again. It's kind of a long haul, especially with Delta pulling the shenanigans that they were pulling while we were sort of in that zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will try to get out there again sometime. We enjoyed it. We hung around, ate some great food, and got to catch up with my cousin, who I don't get to see very much, and see all of his kittens. So.
What are the venues like on Jekyll Island for?
Well,
music?
I was very fortunate. I got here, and a guy named Tom Schuyler was doing a songwriting class. They have a very active arts association, even though it's a very small island. And I didn't know who he was. I showed up the second day. I wonder if he'll see this video someday. But, I'm like, oh, he seems interesting. And then I did his Wikipedia pages, and he's in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. Yeah, so he had some serious cred. But I met some very nice musicians on the island right away when I got here. And we get together when we can every month or every other month and kind of exchange songs, play a little bit. And we're hoping Tom will get us together for another songwriting course maybe next year or something like that. So I'm sort of just learning my way around. There's a great, very similar actually to the bistro with no airplanes on St. Simon's Island, and it's outdoors. Professional sound guy. I mean, a monitor, you sound exactly how you sound on the monitor out there. I mean, it's really, really nice. A lot of, I've only been there once so far because I do another online open mic on the same night. So it's hard to get hard to be in two places at the same time. But the musicians that showed up were amazing. And a great range of ages from some, probably late high schoolers to, older folks and everybody in between and all different kinds of music and a lot of really good players. It was fun.
Oh, great.
Kind of like the bistro there. You don't, you're going to see some good music.
There are wonderful musicians, absolutely, that go to the bistro, and that's part of what brings me back. I've known some of them for a long time, and it's wonderful to hear them continue. We have I think we have more gray hair than more gray than blonde in our.
The night I was there was some younger, and there was a what was it? It was like a Bourbon Street band. It was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. There was like a drummer just had his drum was a suitcase, like you'd see on Bourbon Street, and it had a little kit inside of it. And there was I think a banjo player and a horn player and something else. Oh, maybe a guitar or bass or something like that. But they were really good.
Excellent.
And they could cut through the clatter, being a band, they could cut through the bar clatter, it sounded really good.
Yeah, the sound there is amazingly good for looking like someone just threw it together at the last.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, if you come back, I hope I see.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were part of that scene. I would definitely try to. I tried. We put out an all points bulletin on our group, which is a lot of the poorhouse folks who didn't go to the poorhouse during COVID. Joe Palmer's pandemic open mic group. And so that's a lot of those guys showed up that night, and then a bunch of other, a lot of other people. So there was a big turnout, I guess.
Yeah, just as a final note, of course, this is the second, as you mentioned, this is the second of the venues for the poorhouse. It went back quite a ways. Last week when I played, I did a couple songs in memoriam for Jerry Miller from Moby Grape, who had just passed. And it turned out that 3 people in the audience knew Jerry Miller.
Yeah, of course. It's just one order of separation.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So I hope there was no one insulted by my versions.
Well, and probably Mike Simpson was one of them who knew him, probably. He seems like know everybody.
Hey, thanks very much.
Right. Thank you very much. And thanks, everybody. I'm going to stick around for a couple more, but I do really need to do some storm prep. So I apologize if I have to bug out a little bit early, but I'm hopeful to listen to a 1 or 2 more at least. And certainly the advertisement for the new guitar.
Well, thank you. That's coming up next. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Bill. And if there is any excuse for cutting out early, I think a hurricane would qualify. Great songs. And now it's time for a little public service announcement. We could take a stretch, stand up, sit down, but what we wanted to talk about was dandy guitars. Did someone say dandy guitars? Did someone say free guitars? Well, everyone who is on this show, performers and volunteer hosts alike, gets a ticket in the fishbowl for the annual drawing for one of Capo Dave's Dandy hybrid guitars. So, what makes it a hybrid? You're looking at it, you're probably figuring part of this out. If a good archtop guitar got married to a D28 and then their kid would sing like a dandy. You'll find a link to the dandy hybrids at the bottom of the openmicamerica.com homepage, and you can read all about them and you can watch videos of Dave playing them and see what they sound like and what they're all about. So thank you, Dave, for showing us the fishbowl. Everyone today is going to have their name in there too. And now we are going to go on with the show. We are going to go to Illinois to hear Tim and Susan, otherwise known as Waddle and Daub. And they host an open mic at the Lake Country Folk Club in Grays Lake, Illinois. And they also attend a regular online open mic at Off Square Music out of Woodstock, Illinois. And by the way, on the website, if you look at local open mics, you will find the names and the links to all of these places that people are mentioning. So take it away, Waddle and Daub.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
Dave.
having us.
Thank you for having us. Glad to be back. We had to skip one time. I don't know why, but we did.
But we're here.
This one is I stole the title from John Hartford, but not the tune or anything. Just
No,
the
just-
title.
just
the
the
title. I was just a young man. I settled on my own. No direction, no place to go. I started walking, moving kind of slow. Didn't know where I was going. One thing I didn't know, I'd rather be a hippie than a railroad man. Rather be a hippie than a railroad man. Took some jobs here and there, the pay it wasn't fair. Didn't have a wife or kids, I didn't really care. Moved around from town to town, breathed the good clean air. Thumped some rides along the way just to get somewhere. I'd rather be a hippie, not a railroad man. Rather be a hippie than a railroad man. You can say I roamed a bit before I settled down. Found a girl I love before I settled down. Found the girl I love, melting down and down. So we bring it down. Oh, my friend. Let's do that verse again.
Okay.
All right. Took some jobs. Nope. You can say I roamed a bit before I settled down. Found a girl I loved in a nice Wisconsin town. I love my wife and kids, but then I found rather be a hippie than a railroad man. Oh, I'd rather be a hippie than a railroad man. Well, I messed that one up, but that's all right.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
Right. Do 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 Stuck it out for 40 years, that's what I'm gonna do. The woman that I loved is gone, both my kids and grew. But now I get the feeling my work is almost through. But before I end this song, some parting words for you. Go and be a hippie, not a railroad man. Go and be a hippie, not a railroad man. Do again, honey.
Okay.
Do 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 Go and be a hippie, not a railroad man.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Good one.
We have a confession to make. We both had COVID
Oh my gosh.
right now, and it's
Yeah.
Hopefully
I
you're
got it
not
from going to a-
contagious and we won't all catch it from
no.
you.
That's the nice thing about this is we're
Right.
not spreading it.
Right. I went to a golf tournament with some buddies. It was a high school reunion tournament, and sitting around in a dinner with 200 sweaty Polacks is where I got it, probably.
Anyway, so we're a little loopy. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Garner Rogers plays with a Scottish singer-songwriter, Archie Fisher, and Archie said that he writes a lot of love songs, but he's got to make sure that if you write a love song, at least one of them's got to be about the woman you really do love. And this one is about Susan. Early in the morning, first thing I see, sun through the window and you next to me. You make it easy. You treat me so kind. This old shirt still fits me fine. A glass of brandy I start sipping at 9, and you make it easy. You treat me so kind. Late in the evening, stars shining bright. Last thing I see is you every night. And you make it easy. You treat me so kind. I said you make it easy. You treat me so kind.
Nice groove.
Sweet,
you.
sweet.
Good feel.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim and Susan. And Robert, you can have him now.
Hi, Robert.
Hi. It's such a lovely song. What do you think? What do you think it is? Is it there's the accents on the second beat, so it kind of moves along, kind of shuffles along in places, and when you turn your head to someone and kind of talk to them at the moment, it's not the first thing, it's the second, and so it's having that second accent seems to be like turning your head and speaking to someone you love who's close,
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. When we perform the song, I'm always looking at Susan, and sometimes somebody in the audience will notice that I sort of wink at her.
Figure that's the person, huh?
Yeah.
How long have you been writing songs?
That's hard.
Together since 2016, 2015.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
almost
Uh-huh.
10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
together.
But you were writing songs a little bit before me.
Right.
I've written other things, but not songs. I've
Right.
written string quartets and
Right.
Ah,
Ukulele books and
novels
nice.
and textbooks and whatever. But yeah.
uh-huh. That's
So
so you and what's your background, Tim? For
I was a high school English teacher for 35 years.
a
And
fine profession.
well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I taught in Wisconsin for 35 years, and then they passed a very stupid law that took away bargaining rights from unions, so I retired.
Yeah.
And I started playing guitar, a long time ago. But my first wife, before she passed away, she was disabled. And so I put the guitar and stuff away, and life got in the way. And when she passed away, I picked the guitar again. And then I met Susan, and we started writing songs together. The last song we did, I basically wrote the words, and she came up with the sort of bluesy melody. It said play harmonica on it. That's sort of our whole writing process. Sometimes I'll come up with lyrics, and she'll come up with a melody, or she'll
or
come up
vice versa.
or vice versa.
Uh-huh.
Or editing.
Yeah.
So Susan, are you classically trained? Is that your
Yeah,
background?
I was a music teacher, so I'm a music education major, and
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I grew up playing classical guitar, so this was a interesting
Right.
new thing, I guess. But playing this way, I prefer it actually. What I like about I was gonna say I wrote a novel, I wrote a musical, I wrote lots of other things, but what I really like about songwriting that I'm finding is just the economy of words and getting your point across in a very concise way. It's kind of like, it reminds me of when I used to do Twitter before Musk took it over, but that's another thing. But what I really liked about Twitter was that you only had this many characters, and you really had to think about how you
Yeah.
were writing to get your point across in a
Mm-hmm.
concise, clear way. That's
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely, and that was a real interesting aspect of it, to have to do that. The difference between the first song and the second is that the second had much more economy of phrasing. The first
Right.
one had a lot of words that jammed in there. And,
Yeah, right.
The
If you want
second
to hear them
one,
all, both of the songs are on our second album, Middle of Nowhere.
Well, we weren't doing songs that I wrote tonight because my voice is not back as much as Tim had a day head start on the COVID,
Yeah.
so he's a little.
And I'm recovering a little bit faster, I think.
I've last night my wife and I had my son, his wife, and a friend of theirs who was visiting, and after they came over for dinner, and we watched a couple episodes of Babylon Berlin, which is wonderful. And then I got a call saying, "Oh, our friend just took a COVID test and he's positive." So
So you're waiting
Marilyn,
now?
my wife, and I are now kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see how
what we
that goes.
learned is it takes a couple days for those things to turn up positive. You've probably had it for a day or two.
Yeah.
By the time you get a positive test.
And it's the first time for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did it as
same. Same with my wife and I have not, and another friend we had over. Neither of us, or none of the three of us, have had it yet. Although I've gone to a lot of concerts and been in a lot of places.
It's really odd. I was reading somewhere because I was, of course, looking stuff up, but it's really strong right now. There's 1 in 37 people in the country have it right now. Which is
Well, I'm
kind of
happy to not put my foot on my finger on that particular scale and let others bask in that glory. But we'll see. I may be joining you in that glory, but
well, thank
it'll
goodness
take
for
me a couple days.
vaccinations. I'm
Right.
just gonna say because this could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm feeling relatively well. I don't have a fever. Haven't had a fever for 3 days now. So
yeah. I just got my last vaccination a month ago, so I may be safe.
You
But
may be good.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Hope so.
see.
yeah.
People
Fingers
against the universe. Wonderful. I really enjoyed your music, and
Thank you
hope
very much.
you
Thank
hear
you,
you
Robert.
again. Take care.
Thanks.
So keep well, both of you, and that was very heroic to come on this stage that way, and great songs. Thank you so much. And now we are going to. We do not have two people here tonight from the same state. It's really amazing what Open Mic America has been able to build here, really from all over. So next we have Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. And he plays and participates in the Portland-based Songwriters Soiree and at the La Di Da Open Mic in Vancouver, Washington. So the stage is yours, Stuart. Welcome back.
There's an eclipse up there in Wimberley that'll turn the day into night. I'll meet some family there I have not seen for a long, long, long while. Heading north up through Bulverde, wondering just how I'll play my cards. 'Cause I know we'll talk of love, life and kids, and memories when times were hard. We lost a couple boys along the road. We miss them a lot. There were ups and downs and twists and turns, happy times, some not. Life can be a lonely road. It helps to know you're not alone. And they say your past can't touch you, but somehow this feels like heading home. Up in Wimberley, the sky's turning black as coal. Here in Wimberley, something's stirring deep down in my soul. All my memories are here tonight, flooding in by firelight. And there's a warm wind blowing in my heart in Wimberley. Mom and Dad are up here with us, ghosts with judgment for eyes. You can't run away from family. Roots grow deep and wide. Everybody's looking up to the ring of fire circling the moon. It only lasts a minute, maybe two, like this life, and then it's through. Up in Wimberley, the sky's turning black as coal. Here in Wimberley, something's stirring deep down in my soul. All my memories are here tonight, flooding in by firelight. And there's a warm wind blowing in my heart in Wimberley. And there's children's voices rising up. Some of them look a lot like us. We passed on all the happy stuff, told the truth just enough. Well, the hour is late, stars are dim, the maker's mark is kicking in. Singing songs we've sung before. Where have all those flowers been? And underneath it all, we're still those kids with broken hearts and silly grins. Time is flying on those buzzard wings. So tonight, let's just sing. Up in Wimberley, the sky's turning black as coal. Here in Wimberley, there's something stirring deep down in my soul. All my memories are here tonight, flooding in by firelight. And there's a warm wind blowing in my heart in Wimberley. Yeah, there's a warm wind blowing in my heart in Wimberley. There is a warm wind blowing in my heart in Wimberley.
Beautiful. Wow.
Thank you. Tonight's family night, so these are a couple of family songs written for and about with family. That last one was a true story. That was obviously called Wimberley Eclipse. And we did it. We went out and we stood under that moon and watched the sun go away and drank Maker's Mark. I had a good time. It was a great time. This one is really goes out to Matt and Michelle, my cousins, our cousins living in Portland. When we arrived 7 years ago, we didn't have a place to live. They took us in for 3 months while we looked for a place, and they lived in a big house up on the hill above Portland, and the views were stunning, and the kids were great, and the dogs ran wild, and so here's the song. It's called House on the Hill. High above P-Town on a clear afternoon, the mountains are gleaming and there's a sliver of moon. There's family and kids and dogs running wild. The house on the hill is living high style. But I'm saying goodbye to the house on the hill, where love flowed like a waterfall, good cheer and goodwill, where the homeless were sheltered and the hungry were filled. I'm saying goodbye to the house on the hill. Well, Michelle does the cooking, Matt tends the grill, Mark and Rebecca work hard and stay chill. These dinners are sacred, the meals are divine. It's a house made of love, smoked meat, and good wine. But I'm saying goodbye to the house on the hill, where love flowed like a waterfall, good cheer and goodwill, where the homeless were sheltered and the hungry were filled. I'm saying goodbye to the house on the hill. It's about the time I say sing along once you get it. It's where Garrett turned 8 and Junebug turned 5, dressed like a princess with that magical smile. Stormtroopers descend from the back of the couch. It's loud and it's playful, that's what it's about. But you know, I was thinking this morning that a house is no more than a shell. It's the heart within that makes it a home, and that is the story I'll tell. But I'm singing goodbye to the house on the hill, where love flowed like a waterfall, good cheer and goodwill, where the homeless were sheltered and the hungry were filled. I'm singing goodbye to the house on the hill. Yeah, I'm singing goodbye to the house on the hill.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh my.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now you get to talk to Edgar. To Robert. What am I
I
saying?
think we might all agree that family is an endless supply of songwriting material, right? That last
Yeah.
one, they did sell that house on the hill, and that inspired that song. It was a tough time to see that house go, but now they have a lovely place, and we go over there and have Sunday dinners. So nothing's lost.
Yes, well, with family, sometimes families go out and or members of families go out and start writing songs too. So it goes on different ways. I was thinking tonight, yours and others tonight have reminded me of finding the sacred in the everyday,
Yeah.
and finding that, and that there's that way of doing it, and folk oriented music seems to do that a lot. Then there's finding the world and the sacred in some ways. I think there's a phrase something like let's see, we have somebody's additional audio here. Was that maybe that was Bill getting blown away by the hurricane that came through?
I hope not.
The
Bill is still there. I think we're good.
good that Bill's still there. Finding a pearl in the world, or finding the world in a pearl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking for those things around us that pull us toward or somehow resonate within us for something that is sacred. And that,
I think you use the word sacred, which is interesting to me, but it is something that moves you inside, right? And I guess you can call that sacred. You can call that human connection. For me, does it? When someone shows me kindness or says something that brings me in, there's material there, right there.
Yeah,
it is a lot about people treating each other in a certain way that inspires me to write. I mean, family reunions, clearly from that song, it's not all peaches and cream, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of memories that are difficult, and we still get together. So that's the hope. We get together, keep getting together.
Yes, sometimes there's a difference between meaning and harmony.
Yeah,
you can have different types of notes that go together. They can be very meaningful, but they may not be harmonious, but there's still a place for them, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of the essence of America, isn't it?
Yes, when it's working, I think.
When it's working,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
And America's music. Thank you very much. I enjoyed your songs, Stuart.
Thank you.
You
Here's to family.
Yes.
Yes, here's to family indeed. Thank you so much for that, Stuart. And we only have 2 more performers left. Next we are going to Haverhill, Massachusetts to hear Ric Page and to see him. And he likes to play at the North Reading Community Coffee House. So Ric, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Great time, as always. This first one is called Song for the Seasons. Ground snow everywhere. Scarves and gloves, they keep us warm. Cozy cozy fire weathered a storm. Season change, come and go. Springtime brings a burst of green, blossoms blooming fresh and clean. Birds they sing, bees buzzing. Nature's symphony is stunning. Season change, come and go. Summer days are warm and bright, lazy afternoon, warm nights, beaches, picnics, ice cream, fresh delight, having fun into the night. Season change, come and go. Autumn leaves turn gold and red, falling softly round our head. Pumpkins, apples, cinnamon spice, getting cozy for the night. Season change, come and go. Every season has its charm, something that should keep us warm as we move throughout the year. Cherish each one, hold them dear. A song for the seasons, a song for the seasons.
Wow.
Wow,
Great
fantastic.
piece of work.
Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
This one is called Bang. I'll just play it. Love and caring. Got the love and caring. I got the love and caring. I got the love and caring. I know people with next to nothing, but they're happy. Must be something. They have love and caring for each other. How can I be more to people? Joy that's in me flows so freely. I have love and I will share it with you. Got the love and caring, I got the love and caring, I got the love and caring. It's so easy, just let go, let love take you, let it flow. That's my story. Now you know it. Can't stop loving. Let's all show it.
Oh
Wow,
man,
beautiful,
fantastic,
Rick.
beautiful song.
Thank you.
Oh, we're glad you're back. We're glad you're back, and we're waiting to hear your conversation with Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, what a wonderful couple of songs there, and
Thank you.
your harmonic structure throughout is just gorgeous. The second one has it reminded me of something that I don't think it has a lot in common with, which is kind of odd, but it reminded me of Guinevere by David Crosby. And I think part of it was the sliding up and the probably the right hand, which was underneath, but the dum da dum da da dum da.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting.
Other than that, I mean, it was clearly its own piece, but I was looking for something to bring to the conversation, and that was the planet that passed closest to what you were doing. Well, talk about your songwriting a little bit and your music.
Well, let's see. Let's talk about what I write about. Obviously, I write about love and hope, shared challenges, personal challenges, technology, silly and stupid stuff, world events, social justice, and just about anything. As far as musical genres, I write everything from what I played tonight to progressive rock to jazz to fusion to a little bit of blues, a little bit of this, a little bit of everything. Melting pot.
It, but it is all balanced very nicely and also extended past the normal three or four chords. It is beautifully done. I can and what guitarist do you think of when you or did you draw from in developing your technique?
Oh, my technique. Well, because I play different genres, I'm going to have to say, for progressive rock and whatnot, John McLaughlin, Steve Howe from Yes, Alan Holdsworth. As far as rock type stuff would be like Jimi Hendrix or Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page. Some folkier stuff, maybe Al Di Meola, John Gorka, bunch of different stuff. It's like a mishmash of this. It's really
Yeah.
everything just smashes together and says the best of all worlds, and that's me.
Nice to meet you. I've been waiting for a long time. I heard John McLaughlin in San Francisco about a year ago. He came through, and what a wonderful guitarist he is, and musician. Just
And a great
actually,
person.
Shuba, who was on earlier, was wanting to get to that. I don't know if Shuba ever got tickets to that, but
Oh,
what?
the Shakti one, right? Robert talking about? Was it the Shakti?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance because it was sold ahead of time, but I heard the concert was spectacular.
Oh,
Waiting
it
for the
was.
next one. I actually worked with one of the musicians in Shakti, which is Shankar, right? He the singer of the Shakti thing. So I have actually directly worked with him twice. We performed here. So that was an honor. Hopefully next time. Thank you.
Yes.
Lovely music though. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I can all of that. I think you have rights to speak to those. You blended them very nicely, Rick, on that.
Thank you.
Where do you perform in Haverhill? Haverhill.
Haverhill.
Almost got it.
There are not too many places actually in Haverhill, but next door in Lawrence, Mass, there's a collaborative that's there. There used to be a fantastic place in Lowell, but it closed down because of COVID, and that's where I met Mark Bishop Evans, and actually I found out that Mark lived in the same city as me for many years, and one time he lived within walking distance of me, and then he moved to the other side of town, and all this I knew at the end. It's like, oh well, but now he's on the other side of the world. But There's also a great a venue, the North Reading Community Coffee House, which is both live and also virtual. And so there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then, of course, I play in a couple of ensembles, and we do, the elderly homes. You look out in the audience and you're going to say, I'm younger than some of these people, and some of these people are older than me. It's like anything I'm going to play, they're going to relate to because 50 years old. Yeah, that was their heyday.
Yeah, they've got that memory in there. Well, lovely. I'm delighted to hear your music and look forward to hearing it again at some point, Rick.
Thank you, Robin.
And we'll go on to your friend across the world, Mark, now.
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rick. And isn't that a funny coincidence that Mark Bishop Evans is playing right after you today as well? So Mark Bishop Evans is the man who is going to be taking us home today. And he is from Phoenix, Arizona. And he plays at the Arizona Live Music Cooperative and the Tempe Center for the Arts. And he wants to add other places of disrepute. Sorry. I want to never mind. Okay, Mark, take it away. Take us home.
All right. Thank you, Daphne. Play a couple of songs that I made up. So this is called Andy's Place. There's a place in the valley most people can show you the street, and the sign on the door says place is called Andy and Pete's. It's known for the chowder and fine music played on guitars. And Pete, well, he's a singer, and Andy, yeah, he tends the bar. Now Andy's a worker, and Pete, he's a partying kind. But they work well together, and things had been going just fine. They've been partners since childhood. Their friendship was made long ago. But beginnings and endings are some things we can't always know. Now the bar was near empty the night that lady came in, and Pete sang her stories of the people and places he'd seen. Sat at her table, they flirted for most of the night. When they left for the motel, well, Andy said it didn't seem right. And the jukebox is playing some country that nobody knows. And the couple that's dancing are really too drunk, and it shows. Outside the wind's picking up, and the storm clouds are gathering off to the west. And the neon's inviting you to come in, give it a rest. Well, the next day at noontime, Pete called to say he'd be late. And when he never showed up, well, Andy just assumed it was fate. Then there the next day on the door was a note with a tack. And Pete said he's leaving, not sure when or if he'll be back. And the jukebox is playing some country that nobody knows. And the couple that's dancing are really too drunk, and it shows. Outside the wind's picking up, and the storm clouds are gathering off to the west. And the neon's inviting you to come in, give it a rest. It'll be 6 months this Thursday, and Pete finally dropped him a line. She left him in Tulsa, but anyway, he's doing fine. Now the place hasn't changed much, except for the sign on the door. Andy's it says now, 'cause Pete isn't there anymore. And the jukebox is playing some country that nobody knows. And the couple that's dancing are really too drunk, and it shows. Outside the wind's picking up, and the storm clouds are gathering off to the west. And the neon's inviting you to come in, give it a rest. Yeah, the neon's inviting you to come in and give it a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great song.
This next song is called No Guarantee. She opened the door, and a smile touched her eyes. She couldn't have known who was there. I looked like a waif standing there in the rain. Somehow I knew she wouldn't care. She opened her arms and she offered a sigh. And then she said, well, what have we here? I gathered her up, held her close to my heart, felt all the time disappear. Time disappeared. She invited me in from the night and the cold. Would you care for a warm cup of tea? Here, give me that coat. Can you stay for a while? seems like it's been centuries. I couldn't help notice how the passing of time hadn't touched her at all. And the joy of the girl I had loved wasn't hard to recall. How can we know that the love of a friend run as deep as the sea? Take all the love that is there when you can. Life gives you no guarantee, no guarantee. We sat and we talked of the lives we had known, all of the sorrows and all of the joy. We both had our share of stories to tell. Oh, by the way, how are your boys? Finally came round to the past we had shared, as both of us knew that it would. Remembering nights far beyond any dream, sharing what love that we could, the love that we could. Morning has come, and we're still sitting here. The night in the past blown away. Turning, I saw she was looking at me. So tell me, how long can you stay? How can we know that the love of a friend could run as deep as the sea? Take all the love that is there when you can. Life gives you no guarantee, no guarantee.
Lovely, lovely. Wow.
What
Beautiful.
words of wisdom, and beautifully, beautifully sung.
Thank you.
Well, Mark, it's time to talk to Robert.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Robert.
Two narrative songs. The last one went into, I think, personal memory space also, but they were both narratives. And I was wondering, what do you think, where do you go to find a well-told story?
Read a lot.
That's fair.
I mean, there's millions of untold stories out there, right? I mean, you know, we walk through our lives and our personal experiences, and there's stories in all of that. Um, some of it's more meaningful than others. I mean, nobody wants to hear about you going to the pharmacy to pick up your prescriptions, but yeah,
There
you
might be
know,
a place for that, you know.
but but in general, but yeah, I mean, I have no problem telling a story that's been told before. You know, only telling it my way. You know, I've done that with a few songs. Other than that, I mean, I've written songs about um, you know, the campfire in 2018 when Paradise, California burned to the ground. I wrote a song about that. You know,
Yeah.
that's a great story. I wrote a song about uh, the treatment of the indigenous American Indians and the Indian schools. Um, I wrote a song about that. There's just stories all over the place. Um, my issue is sometimes that I can't decide which one I want to write. You know, and and often, you know, if I find something that I think is unique, I'll spend as much time as I need to on the internet reading everything I can about that particular incident. You know, I don't necessarily start writing stuff down. I just kind of try to, you know, submerge myself in the story to the point where, you know, I feel the story, and then you can start, you know, writing out of personal feelings as opposed to just writing from a, you know, 10,000 foot view.
Hmm.
You know, so
There's a point at which you feel that you've been saturated enough so that you can start to structure it. Is that saturated enough so you feel it? I guess is what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, you know, I think that it, at least in my experience, the songs that people relate to most that I've written are songs that are written out of my deepest feelings. You know, and if I feel it strongly, you know, I pretty much know the songs a hit if about, you know, halfway through it I'm crying. You know, then I'm going, okay, you know, this probably is going to touch other people if it really touches me deeply. So
There's in addition, I hear in yours, as I said, a story well told. So the content is there, and you know you've made contact with that, and it's time to draw it and to make it a weave um, into a song. But your songs are also well told, as you know, Dylan tangled up in blue. This is a story that he certainly felt, but beautifully told as he put it together and constructed
well,
the
I mean,
song.
Susan said it earlier. Said, you know, I mean, the economy of the lyric, the economy of the words that you use. You gotta find enough words to make an impact on somebody's heart and mind without, you know, having so many words in there that the meanings get lost in the words. You know, so
Mhm. Yeah, the place for the story to live is in the mind of the and soul
absolutely,
of the listener, uh,
absolutely,
not and not have it stay in the words in the air.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
that resonance, right? Um, Very nice songs. I like them very much. I appreciate. Thanks for singing them, and
Thank you.
nicely put together and delivered. Nice.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mark.
Yes, I echo what Robert said, and now I know what I wanted to tell you about places of ill repute. I wanted to dispute that, so it kind of, you know, all mixed up into one word. Thank you so much for your music and for taking us home,
Thank you.
Mark.
Thank you again.
And speaking of taking us home, it is just about time to end this show. And I want to thank all of our performers here. Let's do it one by one, just like we did in the beginning. Devin Love, you can wave to us. Shuba Gunapu, Steve Azzaro, Anything Goes, Bill Palmer, Tim and Susan as Waddle and Daub, Stuart Campbell, Ric Page, and Mark Bishop Evans. And as always, if you want to see this show again, or you can go on YouTube and it will be there forever. And you can listen to all these beautiful songs as many times as you'd like. Also, if you go to our website, openmicamerica.com, you will find links to all the performers and their websites and YouTube, etc. You will also find a page that has a very, very rich list of local venues where you can go in order to hear music like this. And it's a great resource. It's whatever any performer has said on this show since the very beginning. So look it up. It's wonderful. Our next show will be in the third week of August, and I believe that will be August 18th, same time, same station. And I want to thank our engineer, Ron Smith. And I'd like to thank our interviewer, Robert Edgar. And even though we don't see, we do see him. And I want to thank our founder and the handy dandy guitar builder, Capo Dave Williams.
And thanks to Daphne for doing a great job hosting.
I'm Daphne. Thank you for being with us together today. And we're going to mute everybody and say good night, America.
Good night, America.
Good night, America.
Good night, America.
Good night, America. That's it.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.